Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and a Mid-Ohio sports car course in the United States for the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal. Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Woodhouse. I'm very, very pleased to be back. And I'm also very pleased to be joining my good friend and colleague, Alex Simpson. And Alex, well, should be in for a great meeting here tonight.
Yeah, hi guys. Really looking forward to this meeting. Andrew, it's a pleasure to hear you on this station once again commentating. I'm glad we finally got you all sorted out and yeah, back in the booth.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. I've missed it. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed the break, but it was an enforced break, so I'm very pleased to be back. World GT Championship looking good as usual. It's very, very close out there. Just having a quick look at the times in qualifying. Yeah, and a lot of drivers in the last few minutes of the session looking to make an improvement. And you can see just on the times there as they're on the screen that, yeah, the top couple of drivers got a bit of an advantage, but then down from third place all the way down to, well, outside the 20th position, Alex, is 1 second.
Yeah, it's been close all season long, actually. And yeah, Mid-Ohio it's a very short track as far as lap time goes as well. It is quite technical on that infield, but yeah, drivers obviously know this place very, very well. It's just one of those circuits that most iRacers have competed on a fair few times, as it's just been with the service so long, and you kind of know the best way around here. So there's a few key corners where you can make and lose time, really sort of turn 2 hairpin, like a million different lines you can take through that corner. And yeah, but it is one that you really have to focus on getting right, and then through that tight twisty infield section. But everywhere else is fairly, I want to say straightforward, but it's not, because there's a lot of undulations to play here, which can really affect you as well. So yeah, I probably didn't do the track any justice there. It's actually extremely difficult. But
well, we've driven here many times.
Yeah,
and the old IndyCar is where we did most of our running here. And it's tough. I mean, the crests alone make this very surprisingly challenging. It's one of those circuits that you look at it, you probably come to it for the first time and go, oh, it may be a little bit Mickey Mouse, maybe not that testing. Well, wrong on every single count there. But I'll tell you what, the main challenge is overtaking, really, because that's quite difficult around here.
Yeah, I think with the short circuits, all the short circuits, you know, you just want to stretch them a little bit in some of the modern day cars now. They're so powerful. It's very difficult to get a run. We were here in some MX-5s with the Riptech series not too long ago, and you know, they were ideal. You could get runs on them. There was just enough slipstream. It made the overtaking quite a challenge, and yeah, people were getting it done. But these GT3s, they've got so much grunt that it's going to be very, very difficult. The slipstream really doesn't come into play early enough, because they're just constantly accelerating down this back straight. That yeah, that it's going to be it is going to be very difficult, and we're going to be looking for little mistakes, I think, that drivers can capitalize on.
We can actually get a good look at that back straight here, as you can see going through the shot there, one of the Mercedes. Yeah,
Nicole Foggy, obviously our championship leader as well, 288 points. Richard Gafencu, he's had a great season as well, in second place in the championship, 242. I might as well go through him while I'm here. Michael Evdoka in third on 225, closely followed by Johnny Brandon in fourth. Then it's Bart Daleman fifth. Josh Thompson is sixth. Michael Blake for Simmortal is in seventh. Then we've got Ben Gregory. Richard Warmingham is ninth. And then Stephen Baxter rounds out your top 10. In the AM, obviously we have Gafencu leading in the AM category, but second overall, so phenomenal performance. Michael Evdoka is in second, then it's Anwar Smith, Mark Woodhouse, Underhill, Hedgecock. Eighth place we've got Field, and then it's Moons and Woodburn rounding out your top 10 in the AM.
Yeah, and it looks closely contested looking at both those championships, but Foggy does have a bit of an advantage over the rest, but we saw it, didn't we, in the past? He's the champion of this series, and you know, it will be very difficult to beat him. Ash Sutton did just improve on his previous qualifying lap to get within 2/100ths of a second of Foggy, but not quite enough. Is there anybody out there, Alex, who's
I think everybody's finishing
made
up
a really
their
good
lap.
start to the season?
Oh,
in your opinion?
Richard Gafenko has been absolutely phenomenal this season. So strong. He's shown really strong in the BSR Grand Tour events. He's using that kind of as practice for this, because obviously that's the way they've worked it this season. It's almost like a warm-up event for this race tonight, and he's putting that really to good use and getting some good results in that and carrying it off into this race. And again, you can see top am driver again today in qualifying, 5th place overall. So another phenomenal performance from him so far. Let's see if he can carry that through all the races tonight.
Well, it's always exciting, like I say, when we do come here. It's always very tight. And there is the grid on your screen right now. Sorry, just having a few issues here on my side anyway. Sorry about that. Nico Foggy is on pole over Ash Sutton, with Josh Thompson 3rd, Johnny Brandon in 4th, Richard Gafenko 5th, Michael Adoka in 6th, 7th is Thiago Pereira, Ben Hackson 8th, 9th is Matteo Follini, Miguel Freitas in 10th, Dave Baker 11th, and Bart Doman in 12th. 13th is Christian Rose, with Steve Baxter in 14th. 15th is Pete Newman, Dion Phillips in 16th. 17th, Stephen Dawson. 18th, Pete Harrod. Joe Warmingham 19th. 20th, Simon Underhill. 21st, Steve Burke. 22nd is Nate Simpson. Jack Stiles on 23rd, with Michael Hall just behind him. Lee Deemer in 25th. Nicolo Cuomo in 26th. Matt Bunn 27th. Ronald Moons in 28th. 29th is Paul Smith. Mark Woodhouse is in 30th. 31st, Dave White. And then Robert Lundgren 32nd. Craig Evans 33rd. 34th, Michael Blake. 35th, Stuart Atkinson. Chris Wood in 36th. And 37th is Ben Gregory. 38th for Adam Hedgecock. 39th, John Roberts. 40th, Scott Malcolm. 41st is Lee Woodburn. 42nd is Matt Keeber. 43rd is Jason Rowe. Lane O'Connor is 44th. And then 45th is Josh Rayfield. 46th is Anwar Smith. 47th is Luke Clark. And that rounds out the grid.
Well, welcome back straight into the deep end, mate, with a huge grid.
A huge grid, and I must admit, I can't see what's going on. You might have to take this off.
Yeah, so Nicole Foggy off the line, gets a good one, no problems there. Round turn 1, he's under a little bit of pressure from Sutton, and I don't think Ash is going to have a look, or maybe he thinks about it a little bit into turn 2, but yeah, Foggy strong on the brakes, no issues there. A couple of cars sideways, I think that was Gafenko, got himself a little bit sideways on the exit of the hairpin, and that has affected him somewhat. We're also seeing a couple of Johnny Brandon, he's dropped down quite considerably. Well, it's just calmed down for a second. Andrew, what's the problem, mate? Let's diagnose you while we're alive. It doesn't matter.
No, it's all right. I think, I think it'll be. It's all right. I think we'll get there. It's just it keeps freezing the preview bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Not sure what's happening, to be fair. We'll put that lower down, and that'll probably fix the problem, and it has. Okay. Apologies for that, viewers. You see somebody with a terrible connection there. You can see a couple of drivers actually bouncing around all over the place. No, they've got Foggy in, leading the way.
Oh, big crash. Atkinson involved.
Oh, and that's there's a Ferrari, another Ferrari in there as well.
Yeah, John Roberts and Ben Gregory, I believe, also involved. You might have to kill your preview screen if it's causing you some gripe.
S-Bar is dead. It's the S-Bar. It's come back to haunt me again.
Good old S-Bar.
That's what I need, isn't it? Amazing, isn't it, guys? You do all the testing in the world, and then and then it goes wrong. I will be back in 1 minute. I'll just kill some stuff and get back in a second.
Starting dropping back a little bit from Foggy. You're looking good. I said this was probably a track where the BMW will be very, very strong. A lot of sort of medium speed corners, but of course the Merc is it's got a lot of punch and a lot of grunt coming out of these corners, and that's going to play a big role. Diego Pereira having a good run in 4th place. He's just ahead of Michael Evdoka. Ben Hackerson tucked behind as well. He's got a bit of damage on his car. Then it's Richard Gafenko. He's down 2 places. That's from what was that turn 2 crash a lap ago. Then we have quite a huge pack here, which is led by Miguel Freitas in the Team Mad car. Just looking at Baxter. He's got a run on Bart Dailman right now, having a look, but somehow Baxter picked up some front right damage as well from somewhere in the opening laps. I'm not too sure where that was. Can't quite get the run on the final sector. It actually looks like Dailman's got the better exit there, so got to come under too much pressure. Good to see Freitas in the Audi performing well. Back to the front as Sutton still that half a second or so away from Foggy. See the field spread already on the little mini map as well. Pretty substantial, but it's what you kind of expect with a 45 car grid. A couple of people right at the back had the mistakes, and I think they might even come into contention with these leaders. Foggy very, very strong through that infield section, really starting to hound Sutton strong through that midfield section, starting to hound Foggy. We head on board just for the moment. So I didn't expect to see Ash get any kind of slipstream effect down there and close in. Good exit out of the hairpin corner. Very committed on the way in as well. So just that power of that Merc, just keeping it pretty much out of reach for Sutton. It's going to have to be one heck of a move. He's going to have to get extremely close, I think, elsewhere to get it done. A little mistake from Foggy. Sutton trying to pounce. Gets a very, very tight line over the top of the crest. Really opens up the next right-hander. Foggy just sort of playing the defensive role, and of course constantly it puts him even more under pressure. Gap is absolutely as close as it's been, but Sutton, there's just no way through in that section of the circuit. It's just so tight through there. As long as you got your car half on the line, you're pretty much covered.
Right, I think it's sorted again. So I'm sorry about that. It was too many cars visible, I think. So, but we'll sort that out another time.
Yeah, it might also be the combination of trying to do everything with it on full screen preview and everything, so.
Yeah. Well, did you I remember you told me the other day that the C-bar does something. The C-bar appears if something bad's happening.
Yeah, that's just the CPU load.
It's all the way to the red.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it wasn't appreciating something, that's for sure.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right then, let's have a little look. have a look then. Foggy, Sutton, Thompson, Pereira. Doka is the top 5. Then it's Haxon. Then it's Kafenku, Freitas, Delman, and Baxter. Look at it. Doka then. Car 989.
Good run from Pereira, actually. The highest I've seen him up there. Doing a good job. Not sure, actually, if we've seen him before. I'm trying to think if I have or not. So, certainly seen the team, Fidelity Motorsport before, but yeah, not sure about Pereira. Up 3 spots.
Not in this league, I don't think, but again...
So. Good little tussle here as well. A few cars. That is, well, Baxter, Simpson, Warmingham, Hall, and Bunn. That's the battle for what is sort of 14th, 15th place. They're closing in on Underhill actually ahead. I'm not purposely trying to focus on just XVR and CQR cars. It just happens to be that that's the ones that are all in the battle. There we go. Nate Simpson, get him in this Simmortal car.
So you go from focusing just exclusively on certain teams to focusing on someone called Simpson. You can't be trusted.
Well, this is true. Foiled again. See, we're Baker with his CQR. At least he's not in the yellow car. So he's car number 6, but he's not in 6. What's going on? There must be something wrong with the world.
Well, he started up in 11th place. He's gone a bit backwards as Dave Baker. See, therefore, positions lost. Fellini also dropping down. Underhill, 6 positions gained for him. Matt Bunn, 9. That's good. Styles moving up the order as well. Cuomo as well.
Good mix of cars out there as well today. It's always good to see in this series.
Yeah, great to see. As you can see that on our timing tower. Mostly Mercedes, and I think that's still going off that strong. The Mercedes is strong pretty much everywhere, isn't it? It's never going to be really a weak car at all, the Mercedes. Maybe Le Mans was the only one where it struggled. And look at Sutton then. Big dive up the inside on Foggy. No dice there for the CQR man.
Yeah,
having a look now though. Foggy's left the door open. Well, that didn't really work that well for Foggy. He just looked like he was a bit asleep. Sutton says, "I'm having that, Sonny J."
Yeah, exactly. Totally fair move. Foggy moved over to try to take the optimal line, and Sutton just slid his car up the inside, as he's got every right to do. Someone spinning in the background. That is one of the back
Jason
markers.
Rowe, I think. Was it Jason Rowe?
Yeah, it could.
Oh no, wait, no, it wasn't. It was not Jason Rowe. It was. Well, it could have been.
Yeah, perhaps retired back. So, but yeah, so Foggy just really caught, like I said, just caught napping there.
Michael Hall's dropped a couple of places. He's dropping down the order as Michael Hall. Something must have happened to the CQR AM Fabrications BMW.
Should get a replay. Let's see exactly what happened.
Unless it was a glitch. It might just be a glitch. Oh dear. So I'm going all the way down the order, and of course that'll probably mean that... Oh, well, there he goes. I wasn't losing my mind completely then. I've got to say, I'm impressed with these new grass physics on iRacing.
I agree. I think they've really added to it. Definitely look very good.
What you do need is for these GT3s is for grass to just get stuck in the front of them if they go off, and overheat the grill and things. That'd be quite good. Mercedes then of Foggy getting really close to Thompson now that Thompson actually snuck past when he went slightly wide under attack from Sutton. See the view back then from Josh Thompson's car.
I would think if there's a car that can make a move in down this back straight is going to be the Merc. I would think that's going to have the power to get a bit of a run done. Oh, catches a bit of grass. Yeah, it's not going to work.
It gets exceptional traction though, mate, as well. Does the Mercedes? We've seen that over and over again. This is a BMW track though, isn't it? Really?
I think so. I really do. Oh, a little wiggle for Thompson going into the uphill right hander. It's under braking. Carl a little unsettled, but gathered it back up.
Thompson in the CQR stable then for this season. I mean, it's probably, you know, they probably felt safer with him on the team, to be honest.
Well, that's one way of looking at it, isn't it?
Sorry, Josh, it's been a couple of months. I haven't had a chance to slag you off in a good while. Foggy going onto the main straight then and pursuing Josh Thompson strongly. 2 lap times on that one. Thompson was the fastest one out of the front four. Pereira though with a good lap time, quicker than the leader on that last lap for the I believe it's the Mercedes.
Yeah, he's still under pressure from if we just take a second, from Michael Evdoka as well. So Michael right there, keeping him on his toes. Hackerson not too far back. If those two have a little battle, even with his damaged car, Hackerson might be able to pick up a place or two. Foggy very close to switch back. Oh, wondered if there's going to be a little nudge and bump and run there or something. But
how many times have we seen that in that section of the track?
Oh, loads, yeah.
I wonder if you could do me a slight favour. I wonder if you could bring the manufacturers up on our scoring tower, because that's my first race of the season. Thank you. I'm really not sure who's in what so far.
No problem.
Because there's been a lot of changes, actually, haven't there, in terms of who's driving what?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Quite a few people have decided to... there's no loyalty in motor racing anymore.
No, not at all. People will chop and change all the time.
Speaking of chopping and changing, I think there's a lot of ducking and diving on my timing screen in the midfield area. I think there's something that's been going on. There was something around John Roberts, Pete Newman, that sort of area.
Yeah, it has been spread apart a bit now.
And it looks like Pereira and Hackerson might have moved around as well. And there's the lead. There's something going on for the lead.
Just see what happened to Pete Newman. He has lost a whole bunch of places, so that's possibly what happened to Pete. Did he make a mistake? Not got long of this race left. There was someone off in the background for Pete. That must have been it, actually, where he moved places. So that was somebody who was off, wasn't it? I think it was Underhill went off.
The lead is changing hands, it looks like, as well. Although I could be... Oh, that's because...
We'll talk about that off air, but I think it's now that you don't have full amount of cars showing.
I think everything's wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. That's something we'll have to sort out.
Yeah, that'll be exactly it. See if I can sort that out in the meantime. Right,
where are we? Just over just under 4 minutes to go, and Sutton's got a comfortable margin now. It really is Thompson the one that's under the cosh. Pereira still that 0.4 of a second margin over Evdoka. I'm an Underhill losing more places. It was Underhill who was off a few laps ago. He's lost some more as well. He rejoins in 30th place, right ahead of Deemer, Malcolm, Hedgecock and O'Connor. And of course, shout out to Scott Malcolm as well. He won his first ever BSR TC race last week. Fantastic performance from him.
Yeah, brilliant. It's been a long time coming for Scott Malcolm. Really has. And someone who's done over 500 races, Alex, he had said.
Nice.
So, yeah, amazing, really, to get that win. We've seen a few people have a lot of races and pick up the wins recently. Laura Bond comes to mind in that one. Sutton then, strong lap time again from him. That's probably his best lap of the race, to be fair, Alex, now that he's managed to stretch his legs and stretch out the BMW as a spinner.
John Roberts in the background. Yeah, recognise the car. Round he goes.
Roberts over-rotated. And somewhere, Paul Smith is cursing at the sky.
You're back. First broadcast, you've managed to sneak one in.
That's it. Well, I had to do something on this first race. I haven't done much else. Now, Matt Bunn in a battle.
That's
Moons.
Moons.
Close.
Yeah, Bunn and Moons.
And up the inside goes the Ferrari. Yeah, and he goes through. Certainly, we've seen good improvement from Ronald Moons, Alex, recently, I think.
Yeah, it's going to try and go round the outside. Newman trying to capitalise as well. He's going to be on the outside.
Oh, he's
going over the crest. Heck. Oh, I thought about the cutback, didn't he? But actually, Moons didn't really.
Oh, contact. Is he going to hit from behind? Oh, he's crashed.
Bang.
I think it was from behind.
Yeah, I think it was.
Definitely a noise and a correction from Newman. Are we going to see the BMW of Michael Hall making contact here with the Ferrari?
CQR on CQR.
It's almost certain, isn't it? There it is. Yeah. Oh, and he just can't retain the grip. Once you're getting that sort of wiggly motion on iRacing, you're not going to last very long.
Oh, side by side then.
Oh.
On the outside, Foggy just can't quite get the overlap.
Thompson very stoically defends that one. I think Sutton's trying very hard. I can hear his car sliding around as we continue to watch this battle.
Just 20 seconds to go then in left of this time. I think they will just sneak across the line this one, so we'll be on to the last lap.
It's very, very close between Bart Dowman, Baxter and Rose as well. It's for 9th, 10th and 11th, but on the final lap this is the battle for second. Sutton looks like he's going to take this one. Who's going to take second place? Into the hairpin at turn 2.
He just got a
wide line for the Merc.
Yeah, he just slid a little bit. I could see what he was trying to do, but didn't want to lose that traction. He wanted that good drive off. Didn't quite get it.
It's got a slipstream. Oh. Just not long enough, is it, that straight? It just needs to be stretched, as you said.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just have a look at this battle that you were talking about as well as they come down the straight. See if there's going to be any position changes here. Rhodes on the BMW, maybe.
Baxter's car has seen better days.
Yeah, it has. Maybe a move from Baxter. No, I think that was more just defensive driving from Baxter. Oh,
Sutton's coming round the final corner, and he's going to take the win. Alex, brilliant.
Yeah, good drive. It was a great move, really. Just yeah, surprised Nicole there with that move, and yeah, took the position. And the race went with it as well. Fantastic drive. And
yeah, great work.
Did well to defend really to second, because I think Foggy desperately wanted to try and get back towards Sutton and get that potential win back.
And it's very close still here in this battle, Baxter and Dowman. Dowman's going to come over the line in P9, ahead of Baxter, and then it's Rose, Simpson in 15th then. Still going on further down the order as well.
Yeah, Woodhouse, Wood, White, Smith and Blake here. Extremely close. Great little battle. 22nd.
Yeah, Anwar Smith just in front of them as well.
So everyone is literally just streaming across the line.
It's how close we said it was at the top of the show, though, isn't it? And you know, even though the front guys seemed like they had a bit of an advantage, everyone else further down, it was so even on lap times that, you know, really the remaining races tonight are going to be brilliant, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they all come through the pack. I think, you know, because it's not easy to overtake here, so could have maybe a couple of surprise winners, I think, in this one.
Could well be.
Right,
because
let me
I
just
think
get the race results sorted for you, and then I'll need to get a reverse grid wheel prepped as well.
Indeed. And the wheel, I've missed the wheel. Here's the race results then. Ash Sutton taking the win by 2.7 seconds over Josh Thompson. Nico Foggy was right behind him at the very end. Tiago Pereira in 4th. Michael Evdokia in 5th. Ben Haxton 6th. Richard Kafenku 7th. 8th was Miguel Freitas. Bart Dowman in 9th. Steve Baxter in 10th. Christian Rose 11th. Then Matteo Fellini in 12th. David Baker in 13th with Richard Warmingham in 14th. Nate Simpson 15th. Nicola Guomo in 16th. 17th for Jack Stiles and 18th was Matt Bunn. 19th for Ronald Moons, ahead of Michael Hall in 20th, Anwar Burwell-Smith in 21st, Mike Woodhouse in 22nd, Chris Wood 23rd, and David White in 24th, ahead of Paul Smith, Michael Blake and Stephen Burke. Craig Evans in 28th, and then Pete Newman 29th, Lee Deemer 30th, Scott Malcolm 31st, Adam Hedgecock in 32nd, Lane O'Connor 33rd. You might need to go back up again on that one.
Sorry.
I was a bit quick. Pete Harrod 34th, Luke Clark 35th, Ben Gregory 36th, Simon Underhill 37th, Robert Lundgren 38th, Josh Rayfield 39th, Lee Woodburn 40th, Stephen Dawson 41st, John Roberts 42nd, and then cars who won't score any points, Jason Rowe 43rd, then Stuart Atkinson, Dion Phillips, Matt Keeber, and Johnny Brandon was out pretty much straight away.
Right, apologies for that. I was trying to get the wheel ready, so I was kind of doing it blind just from I was 18 and like, where does he need it?
I've got to say the Ferrari drivers are not happy after that race.
No?
Really not happy because they just don't have any speed. They're saying Baker and Rose just not quite at the races, it looks like.
Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it, to see those guys down there, so clearly having problems. Right, I do have a reverse grid wheel. Let me give it a spin and see who it is who's going to be on that pole position. I wouldn't say it was a large one, but there's also another small one. 28th place we end up with. Which
28th is going to be
Craig Evans.
Evans, yeah.
That's
right.
Burke will be second, Michael Blake and Paul Smith. Be an interesting one indeed.
Yeah, indeed it will. And we're going to be back and showing you exactly what's going to happen in race 2 when we return here on Apex Racing TV. This is the World GT Championship at Mid-Ohio. We'll see you in a bit.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Welcome back, everybody, to Apex Racing TV and the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson here at Mid-Ohio. We're just about ready for the start. Craig Evans on pole, Steve Burke in second, Michael Blake third, Paul Smith in fourth, and David White in fifth. And you can see the rest of the grid, some of the rest of the grid scrolling through. Just about ready for the rolling start then. This should be a good one. Craig Evans on pole. What can he do? He's going to have a stern challenge from behind. Here we go. Green light is on. Great jump by Evans.
Didn't waste any time in get going, did he?
Ah, that was really good. That's how you want to do the rolling start. Blake alongside the Audi of Steve Burke. Going into hairpin. One of the BMWs is challenging in there, and he's coming quite hot there. Hasn't quite managed to get the move done. Oh no, he has. A good drive on the exit of the corner. Who's that up to fourth then? That's Chris Wood, Alex, I think, is that BMW I was mentioning. Yeah,
it is, and Team Madcar. Great start from him. Up 2 spots already, so that's exactly what he needs to do. Anwar Smith losing a place. Who's that around the outside of him? That's Mark Woodhouse. Will he be able to hold it as they go over the crest? Smith going to have the high ground, isn't he, for the next corner? Michael Hall, who did knock his teammate in the last race. Having a fairly decent start. Baker up a couple of places. I'd say the Ferrari driver's not enjoying it. Oh, that's messy, to say the least. Who's involved? Everybody's involved. Oh my word.
Have I missed a crash?
Yeah, heavy crash, unfortunately. I take it same problems again for yourself, Andrew.
It's a problem, but it's a different one. I'm nearly having a seizure. The old screen's flashing at me. But yeah, well, go on. Take us through? What's happened?
Well, just everybody concertina into everybody else. You know, 5 cars trying, 5, 6 cars, maybe even 10 cars trying to have the same bit of real estate there, and yeah, not happening.
There's not much real estate to go around on this circuit.
No, I mean, fortunately, I don't think anybody's DNF'd from it, really, but they all just sort of got themselves caught up. So what that has done is Evans has built himself up a nice little lead. Oh, Paul getting himself out of shape. He's lost a couple of places. Andrew, if you're still having trouble, mate, just turn OBS off, and then we will we'll just look at your iRacing screen with the live time in for the rest of the evening.
Okay.
Smith under pressure from Smith. Paul Smith against Anwar Smith, going into the hairpin.
My money's on Smith.
Yeah. Oh, Anwar. Well, I look like he's going to get a good run, but for obvious reasons, he just got onto it a bit early and pushed out wide, and yeah, couldn't keep the car on the circuit. Matt Bunn now having a little look at the Mercedes driver. And there's a bit of contact between them, but actually they're okay. And I think that's David White, who was having a little look at Bunn there as well after that little collision.
I think it's actually an iRacing issue that I've got here.
There's another setting that we can have a little look at. I mean, it might just, you're right, it might well be a throughput problem, because all the testings we've done have been smaller grids, haven't they?
Everything's been fine, hasn't it?
We will got one other thing it could be. So sorry about this, guys. A few technical.
Yeah, I do apologise,
gremlins.
everybody. Sorry, I'll try and muddle through. Just just try your best, and I'll try and sort it.
Oh, look at this! With 4 or 5 cars there, really close. Baker, Moons, Thompson, Hall, all in that little scrap. We get a whole lot of dirt kicked up off of the exit. And it is Baker and Moons that are side by side. I think they were pretty much battling it out the last race as well. Baker around the outside should get the move done. That's Michael Evdoka running extremely deep. I don't think he's managed to hold it there. Oh, who's that? That's completely out of shape. I think it might have been Foggy. It was Foggy. He's now side by side with Hall. Hall's got through. Foggy up 6 spots. Sutton, who we know is very good at overtaking, up 11, which I know that seems like a lot, but for Sutton's ability and the way he slices through traffic, not as great as we would normally expect to see him. Thompson just ahead of him, up 12. Baxter puts the fastest lap of the race in. Stunning job from Baxter. He's up 7 spots as well. Oh, geez, Thompson just about holds on to it. I think he's going to have his teammate up the inside, and indeed he has. Nothing he can really do there. Not worth fighting for the sake of losing track time against your teammate. Stephen Burke now having a little look at Chris Wood. So Wood trying to hold it around the outside in the BMW. Very rare to see Burke in Wood in anything other than an Audi. Yeah. So and coming under pressure from an Audi as well now. So. But yeah, good move, great train as well. So I think Blake and Evans, they've got a real opportunity to hold on to these positions for this race, just because this pack is so close. There's just no room to move. Michael Hall into the wall, losing some positions. Let's see if I can see exactly what happened here. Got Hackerson behind him, I think that is. Oh, he just got out of shape. Ben, maybe with a little run. Yeah, he does. He just pokes his nose up the inside. A little bit of side door-to-door contact, and Hall spat off. That really come from the fact that Hall got himself out of shape just a couple of corners before that.
I don't want to get too excited, but I have paints. I have iRacing, and it looks like it's working.
Okay.
My God. Right, here we go then. Stephen Burke. Whee! Lap 6 of the race here. Mid-Ohio. Race 2 of the evening. Stephen Burke's in 4th, and Paul Smith then behind. Matt Bunn then in P6. The thrust vector car. Odd to see that with the Audi, Alex.
Yeah, I mean they took that decision to go with the Audi this season. Talking to Chaz, and I think they just wanted a car that was quite neutral to drive, but just to avoid anything with understeer was what they were kind of after. And yeah, I think that's a fair choice with the Audi.
I still see that Philip Morris is paying them some money on the front of that car. Oh, Smith getting quite deep into the hairpin. Almost ran into the back of Steve Burke. This is a good battle, Alex. Good group of drivers who know each other really well. A lot of experience in this situation.
And I think that helps. You know, when the BSR and this sort of WGT series, you know, all the drivers know each other, don't they? So well. And you know, for the ones that respect each other out there as well, you can really have some phenomenal battles. And I think this is what we're kind of seeing between Burke and Smith right now. I personally have had 2 great battles with Paul over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, and the respect's given, the racing just gets better and better.
Yeah, I've not actually had that much opportunity to race him as much as I'd like, but yeah, very good driver indeed.
Buck's blinking all over the place, not making it easy for Smith either.
Good to know for the first time tonight that that's not me then.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Dear me. Must admit, when Michael Hall spun off earlier on, I must have picked a needle in a haystack out of all the things I was seeing on the timing screen, because it actually was. Now, this is a big gaggle. This does count as a gaggle, I think, mate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We certainly can. What's the lead for Evans then? 2.5.
2.5, yeah, and then Blake's got what, another 7/10 really on Wood, who actually has started to scamper away from Buck. So
that Matt Keeber and Stuart Atkinson have been off the track. I wonder if they've hit each other, because they were very close together. Atkinson's now in the pits. Keeber's in the pit lane. Do we think there was anything in that?
Let's have a look. See, I think we'll see here from. Oh, well.
I can't see that, mate.
Yeah. Is that? That is Atkinson as well. So yeah, exactly that. So the boosted car really couldn't do anything. Boom! Yeah, big hit.
Michael Blake having a good run up in second, starting in third.
Oh, problems.
Oh, Sutton. CQR BMW then. All sorts of bother for him.
So a replay coming up. Let's see what it was.
Oh, he's just turned by was it Dawes? Is it Woodhouse?
I think it was Woodhouse, yeah.
The other Smile Time Racing car. Not time to smile for Sutton, I'm afraid. Michael Blake can definitely smile because he's in the top 3.
Well, I think we just actually, while we were looking at that replay, I think we actually just missed an overtake there, haven't we?
Yeah, it was Wood going through, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. The event viewer is going absolutely nuts, and I'm trying to find the overtake here.
Looks like Pete Harrod and Adam Hedgecock have been swapping positions as well.
Here we go. Hopefully, this should be the replay of the. Michael Blake and Chris Wood move. You can see that crash going on in the background again.
Wow, it looks like the BMW is going to get this done in a straight line.
I know, of all the unlikely ways to get it done, straight done and then under braking. Thank you very much. Easy peasy.
The inside then for the Team Mad car. Paul Smith. Oh, he's just sticking the nose out. Wonder if you think Stephen Burke just might make a mistake into this middle sector of the track. Oh, Matt Bunn's having a look in the Ferrari. Oh, and just couldn't get it. The Ferrari, as a few of the guys have said, not having the best time of it in terms of pace, but still doing its best out there in the hands of Matt Bunn. Dave Baker's up in 10th place, having started in 16th. The biggest mover so far, Johnny Brandon, who started at the rear of the field, and he's up to 24th. And Josh Thompson's up to 12th as well. He's going well. Got a chance of a top 5 here. Looking back from Smith. Matt Bunn on the series admins. No wonder he's doing so well.
That's it. No one wants a penalty, do they?
That's it. Oh, Bunn got a great cut back there. Lovely apex.
look at the BMWs actually pulling away, though. What is this madness?
Wait until the Ferrari gets to the end of the straight, though. You'll see it start to pull back in. Here it comes. Here it comes. Smith lit on the brakes. Bond's not going to go around the outside there. Oh, but Smith's trying to overtake Burke.
Well, yeah, we didn't know that. We were focused
on the hill. Oh, Smith's gone off. Oh, he's gone wide at least.
Just the one. No.
He throws it in. Oh, the auctionman getting involved, getting feisty.
Yeah. Oh, he's got David White. He's got Anwar Smith, sorry, that also snuck through at the same time. And who's that behind? Richard Warmingham and David White, side by side as well. Just gone manic in the middle there all of a sudden.
It's like the Matrix with all these Smiths.
Oh, don't, you got me.
Oh, Bun sliding through the penultimate corner. That's going to leave him prey to Anwar Smith.
Oh, Baker.
Oh, there's a crash, and that's Baker. But Smith, I want to see what Anwar Smith could do. Could he get through? He was pushing on Bun. He was looking like he was trying to get through by the pit wall. Around the outside. He's looking. Oh, Paul Smith's getting involved again. Nearly a quarter panel. Don't want that, boys. Here comes the Youth Energy car again, the Mercedes. Using that power. Oh, it's hard to overtake on the straight, Alex, because of the way it kings to the right.
Yeah, I think Smith wanted the inside line. He was hoping he could get it. Oh, Matt Bum very deep into the corner as well.
He's wringing the neck of that thing.
Yeah. It was just desperate, really, make sure there wasn't some sort of overlap for Anwar there. Otherwise, it would have been interesting through this sort of very tight, twisty middle sector of the circuit.
Don't wish to alarm you, but Josh Thompson's up to 8th.
Yeah, 19
He's come
spots.
through from 27th on the grid.
Let's jump on board with him, actually, because he's just literally behind Smith, who we were looking at. And you got Paul Smith right there. Not afraid to put a move in, is he, old Josh? So he gets an opportunity on the brakes. Well, he'll take it, that's for sure.
Have you had a look at the car? You can tell that by just having a look at his BMW at the minute. The front's bashed in, the rear's bashed in. Might be trying to bash Paul Smith in.
A little bit squished. Paul sees him coming, gives the room. You can fight it, can't you? But you've got to make sure.
There's a Murkoff in the background. I think it was Foggy.
I think it was Warmingham, actually. Warmingham, yeah. But he's teammate, so easily misplaced when they're side by side on the circuit. XVR, then that's Northern Lights Racing, isn't it? Basically, is that right? I think there's a lot of drivers in that same team, but they have set up their own thing. So XVR Sim Racing.
Oh, it's something different. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
My bad. Don't sue me, guys.
So he's been out of the action for a couple of months.
Well and truly out of action. Oh, here comes Foggy then. Oh man, there was no space there. Tried it.
There's trouble with this
past David White.
Just no room, is there, when you need it? Get these runs.
Oh yeah, and you just get we saw with Anwar, you just get the run at the wrong time. Almost get too good an exit, stay off the hairpin, and it's no way to get through. This is one of those tracks, mate, where someone can usually just park the car in the middle of the circuit and probably stay ahead for the whole lap.
Yeah, White going very defensive. Foggy to the outside. We'll have to go around the outside in the hairpin.
He's going to try and be the last of the late breakers.
Oh, that's good.
And go around the outside. He's on the grass. Oh, my! Hang on to that if you can. And here comes Ivdoka.
There's another one going on as well right now. We need to look at this. This is Smith and Thompson. Thompson takes that position.
Move. Oh!
Back to this.
They were 3 wide in the background.
So if Ivdoka got both, fantastic. And poor White, he lost 2.
Nothing he could do there, but Ivdoka, really good driving. Just nab those places. Nab one off of Nico Foggy.
Getting quite tasty up front, you know, here.
Yeah, and Chris Wood has bridged the gap.
Yeah, we've got Well, this is going to be the last lap. We've got 45 seconds to go. So can Craig hold on to this one? I mean, it'd be a phenomenal drive from Wood. He's had to hunt these people down. I said they would be good. You know, the top two of Evans and Blake would be good for first and second in this race. But
I wonder if you could just quickly bring up that we've got a time graphic to see the gap. I wonder if you could just bring that up very quickly. I know we don't have a long time to go, but we'll be able to see how this gap's shrunken for Chris Wood. Oh, is he going to dive up the inside? No, he doesn't. And there it is, look. What's 2.2 seconds?
That was just 5 laps ago, so it's come down really quickly.
Yeah, lap 12, you could see a big change. 6-7 tenths of a second just there in that one lap. Over the crest of the hill. Looks like Craig Evans is going to have enough here. To the final sector. Oh, the checkered flag's going to await him, but has he gone too tight round the final corner? It looks like Woods slightly botched the line.
Yeah.
So Evans coming around the final corner.
Great race.
And the Scotsman wins at Mid-Ohio. Terrific drive.
Oh my God, what's going on?
Oh, big pile up in the final corner. Bunn's involved. I think Amar Smith is involved too. Well, that was an almighty dust-up. Quite sure what happened, mate, to be honest.
No, I'm going to have to try and find that back on replay, because literally people everywhere. If I can. Right, let's just see if this is it. Sorry, and then we'll bring the final standings down. This is definitely that group, isn't it?
Can't see anything, mate.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a guy, Woodhouse in the pit lane.
Oh my word. So there was a lot going on earlier on that lap as well that really broke him apart. And then, is this going to be the same incident? This is a different one. I think there was a couple of separate incidents. Oh, well, we'll have to try and hunt that out afterwards. Right.
Because it was on the very last corner.
Yeah.
A lot of problems there at the end. I don't think Amar Smith's going to be too impressed, but we'll see. They'll have to see what the stewards are going to say about that. But yeah, that was a good race. Really entertaining. And the man who entertained us the most really was the winner, Craig Evans, winning by 1/3 of a second over Chris Wood. Then it was Michael Blake, Matt Bunn and Nick Foggy. Richard Warmingham finished 6th. Then it was Michael Evdoka, Josh Thompson, David White, and Steve Burke rounds out the top 10. Then it was Ben Hackerson, Steve Baxter, and the two Smiths, Paul ahead of Anwar, and then Miguel Freitas. Then Dave Baker in 16th, Pete Harrods 17th, 18th for Ash Sutter, and then Johnny Brandon in 19th, Ronald Moons 20th, Pete Newman 21st, Tiago Pereira 22nd, Ben Gregory 23rd, 24th Adam Hedgecock, 25th was Bart Dowman, Josh Rayfield in 26th, and it was Rich Kafenku ahead of Simon Underhill, Lee Deemer 29th, Christian Rose 30th, Scott Malcolm 31st, then Mark Woodhouse, John Roberts, Nicola Cuomo, Jack Stiles, Luke Clark in 36th, then Jason Rowe 37th, Michael Hall then in 38th place, Matteo Fellini 39th, Lane O'Connor 40th, Robert Lundgren 41st, Stuart Atkinson 42nd, Andy Shield 43rd, Dion Phillips 44th, Lee Woodburn in 45th, Nate Simpson 46th, Matt Keeber 47th, and the extra man for this one, Stephen Dawson in 48th, and he retired very, very early on. And this is about to be it, I think. So it's Thompson. Oh, Bunn going right into the Audi. Right into Steve Burke. Completely missed the braking. Now hell breaks loose. Look at that.
Yeah.
Paul Smith was on the grass, I think. That was a bit of a
and something across the start finish line as well.
The line's quite early here, though, isn't it? So I wonder if that was just a bit after the line, but bit clumsy from Bunn.
Yeah, I think so. Final corner or penultimate corner, really.
He's been watching that NASCAR race from 2014 or whatever it was, that one where the guy just ends up just rodgers him into the final corner here and just claims the win. So yeah, terrific race that, and we're going to find out in just a couple of moments' time who's going to be starting where for the third one. And it's always fun spinning the wheel and seeing where it's going to end up.
And the wheel is indeed spinning. It's going to be quite a sizable one. 32nd it will be.
32nd will be, looks like Mark Woodhouse. So wait a minute.
Yeah, Mark Woodhouse. Right? Yeah, and Scott Malcolm will be second for Team Man as well. So could it be a race win for Scott Malcolm in the World GT Series as well? Maybe.
Well, you know what they say, you get one and they all start flowing. So
just like buses.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look what happened to Mika Hakkinen, and he won his final race. He won his first ever F1 race at Jerez, the last round of 1997, and he went on to win the next 2 world titles. So it definitely can happen. Right then, we'll be back for the final race. We'll see if he can do it when we come back in the World GT Championship. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio for the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse here alongside iRacing Road Pro Series champion Alex Simpson. Alex, for the third round of the evening, mate. Should be good with the second reverse grid of the night.
Yeah, fairly sizable reverse grid. Like you say, should be good. Mark Woodhouse is going to lead us away. Scott Malcolm second, Christian Rose, Lee Deemer, Simon Underhill, Richard Venku, Josh Rayfield, Bart Daleman, Adam Hedgecock, and Ben Gregory. There's not an R in there somewhere.
That was easy for you to say that one, but it's okay.
But yeah, and we'll just flip through and show you the top 20 while we can, because it doesn't take long to get going around here.
Not at all. Here we are. Red lights are on. Green light is on as we take the rolling start. Woodhouse leads the way. A big crash on the main straight. Oh, it's only two cars. Don't come back on! Well, that... I cannot believe I just saw that, really. There's somebody over. It's all kicking off.
I'm not surprised whoever it was got literally fired. I think it was Ben Hackerson, wasn't it?
Oh, we might have to see that again, but
I think we'll go look at that at the end of the race.
at the end of the race, let's not bother with that. Rose versus Malcolm is the battle at the moment for second place. Rose, of course, had a fantastic season in the previous season, season 3. Finished in the top 3 in the championship.
Yeah, that
And he's
Ferrari
trying
just
to-
doesn't seem to be working quite for him this season, does it? So,
Well,
not-
Baker was saying the same.
a couple of tracks it's really strong, but those tracks where it was just sort of okay have been a bit meh.
Seems like it's
See
lost a
what
lot
to
of that.
describe
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed like it's lost a lot of the nimbleness that it had earlier on in the campaigns for these guys, especially CQR Racehub. Woodhouse in the lead, then it's always good to see that. It's the only time you'll see it, in fairness.
Oh, this is not true. This is not true. We have definitely seen another Woodhouse in the lead.
Rosie second, Malcolm third. Oh, whether it happens again or not, we do not know. Richard Gafenko in fourth, Lee Deemer fifth. Sixth is Underhill. Simon Underhill, that is. Josh Rayfield in seventh. Good. Oh, and Woodhouse having to defend. Here comes Christian Rose then. And it's the end of the straight where the Ferrari does gather pace. Does try to make an advance on the lead. Held by Woodhouse. Woodhouse has missed the corner. Rose almost followed him. And Rose going to take that inside line, complete the move, and go up into the lead past the STP car. Good stuff.
Yeah, sort of forced him a little bit into a mistake. We've got Hedgecock dropping down the order. What
Hedgecock
is going on
has,
with...
pretty much, oh, there's a spinner as well, Blake. Blake's around, going the wrong way in the background. Hedgecock was, and that's the worst place, isn't it, for Adam Hedgecock against that fence? Just a really appallingly unlucky place to finish.
You just can't back up out of there, can you? That's the trouble.
You can't back up, you can't go forward, you can't try and spin turn it, you can't do anything. Rose leads by a second then. Woodhouse is desperately trying to hang on. We'll see if he can do so. Fastest lap of the race, Tiago Pereira. Fitzstein Motorsport car. Nearly a second quicker than anybody else in the top 20. As cones go flying everywhere. The innocent victims of motor racing.
And up 4 spots already, so trying to make this 5 around
And he's
the
going round.
outside.
He's just driven round the outside of Simon Underhill like he wasn't there.
Yeah, great. It looked like there was more camber, didn't it, on the outside all of a sudden around that corner.
He's just found some, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the case at all. Good move.
It's like he's on a different track to everybody else, Pereira.
Thought for a
Underhill.
moment he was going to get hit though. That camera angle, I tell you what, made it look just like that.
And there's a move going on just in front of them as well. Gafenko and Deemer, I believe, are battling. Might be Gafenko and Malcolm, actually, Alex, for P3 and P4.
Yeah, spot on. Malcolm trying to hold on in that Team Mad car. I think, I say he just needs to, just needs to make sure he just covers up all these corners. And yeah, Scott knows what he needs to do. Done it now. He's a race winner in a different series, so keep nailing those marks. Don't overshoot. It's what makes it difficult for the guys to get by, get those exits right. And Pereira up another spot as he just flies past Lee Deemer in the Simmortal Go-Kart World Cup.
I feel like with Scott, it's, oh, look at that move. Look at the dummy. Up the inside. Oh, and there's a collision. Pereira went into Scott Malcolm, but already there was a great move made by Richard Gafenko, and now they're off into the wall.
Malcolm out with Simon Underhill.
Oh, Simon, that was close. Look out. Oh, crikey. Let's have a look what happened then. You can see that Malcolm defends the inside, thinks he's safe from Gafenko, Alex. Gafenko storms up the inside. Brilliant move. And then Pereira just didn't really read the situation, he didn't look like. Ended up taking Malcolm, and then the Audi of Underhill ploughing into the barrier. And very nearly collecting some cars on the way back onto the course, but luckily not the case. Foggy just set the fastest lap on the previous time round in the XVR sim racing car. He just makes another position. Oh, he's gone off. He's gonna be spinning. Is he, Foggy? No.
Just about collects it back up. Not easy to do at all.
Mid-Ohio, Alex, it is one of those courses, though, mate, where you do not get the tarmac runoff area. You do not get that safety net. It is grass, it is gravel, and your mistakes get punished around this place.
Yeah, old school circuit, isn't it? You know, they don't do enough of those.
Reminds me of like an Alton Park, somewhere like that. You say that's fair? Like
yeah, I'd say so. I
comparison?
agree with that. I agree with that. Alton Park, very, very similar. Like you say,
Make a mistake there, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you just get punished, don't you, big time.
Evdoka side by side with
It's Baxter and
Baxter.
Foggy,
Yeah.
as Foggy goes past on Baxter. It's getting pretty tasty up front as well. Still, Christian Rose pulls away. But Mark Woodhouse in second. Gafenku not quite had the meeting he would have wanted, but still got a chance to. I think still has a chance to win this one as well. We're only sort of 6 minutes 40 into this 20-minute race. So if you can get by Woodhouse fairly quickly, I think you might have a chance at hunting down Rose ahead.
Well, it's possible, isn't it? What's the best lap for Gafenku is a 21.0. Did that on the previous time round. Just done that, in fact. Just as I mentioned it. He's trying to go around the outside of Woodhouse here. And he was late enough on the brakes. He's surely going to make that. Oh, bit of a nudge. Just tried to maybe cut back a tiny bit too soon, Gafenku, but this time cuts across the BMW. He should make this work. It's really... I know I've been away for a while, Alex, but it's a tiny bit unsettling to see the BMW passing Mercedes in a straight line.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there's more contact.
I got a question for you. As they're debating it on the chat right now as well, is this the racing, the contact? Is this
there goes... Well, there's going to be something going on there.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was that Johnny Brandon that ended up... Oh, there's one going over the grass. Bang!
Deemer, isn't it? I think that was. Yeah. No, I need to spit it out.
Do it.
Is this what we're seeing with the crashing and the incidents we've seen throughout this series and a lot of others? Is this a case of the touring car drivers coming and doing some racing in GT3, or is this because we have 35 cars reverse grid on a 20-minute sprint race? What you know?
Certainly the latter.
Yeah, exactly. I
Certainly
don't think it's got anything to do with touring car drivers.
I think you have. Yeah, I think that it's the nature of this circuit.
You can't have a 20-minute sprint race and people having to, having fast cars ahead, behind slower people.
Oh, Spinner
and not
Smith.
have some incidents. So yeah,
Anwar Smith around.
Play the game.
Yeah, oh no, that's a big one.
Can't defend that.
I can't defend much. Oh no. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is Carmageddon right there. Oh, and there's going to be some more going on, I'm sure, because I was certain that boosted car wouldn't have got out of the way of that Mercedes that was coming through. Dear me. No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have said that. I do not think that. I do think it is to do with the fact that this track is difficult to overtake on. These are quite big cars, remember, as well. They're not like the Formula Renaults or the Skip Barber or something like Dinky. These are some big vehicles. And maybe sometimes, Alex, they might forget that a tiny bit in terms of the space that's given to them. And that's Chris Wood around, and another terrible place to turn the car around. And if a car goes wide there, might just end up being the end of his motor race. Let's see what happened then. Behind Wood is the BMW of car 108, which is Paul Smith. Oh, just unfortunate for Wood, that really. No, I don't think it's got anything to do with touring car drivers specifically. I mean, GT3 drivers aren't angels, let's be honest. if we're talking about one versus the other, I think they're both probably going to be found as the culprits, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly that.
I mean, we've all been in a GT3 race where we've been knocked about a bit, let's be honest with you. We love this series, though. This is one of the best series that you can find. And, you know, we've covered lots of races. We've covered probably over 100 races in this very championship. This is one of the few that I'd say that carnage has been quite prevalent.
Actually, it has been quite bad tonight. It's not normally quite on this level, I would say.
It's one of the few races that I've seen in this championship that I remember the racing being quite as, put it politely, dodgy.
I think you get that with these circuits as well that are notoriously difficult to overtake because people literally have to get a bit, you know, pushy and a bit aggressive to get the moves done.
But then there's the argument that you still should... There's two schools of thought, isn't there? There's an argument that a bit of contact is... Oh, there's some. A bit of contact is kind of normal to get through on a track like this. But then there's another school of thought, which is kind of like mine, which is you still shouldn't be hitting people to get past. You've still got to find a clean move, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, a tiny bit of a nudge is sometimes okay, because let's face it, how else are you going to get through sometimes? But we've seen the slipstream has very little effect down the back straight. The main straight isn't long enough. Straight after that is sort of okay for it. It's a good corner to overtake into in the hairpin, but yeah, I don't know, it's great to watch. I'm loving this. It's my first night back, so I'm just enjoying the action. And let's face it, you wouldn't have complained if the British Grand Prix had been like that at the weekend. In fact, it kind of was, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of crashes in that, with incidents.
Finko up to second. What's he doing? He's only 0.3 of a second a lap on Rose, so I don't think that's going to be enough to get him there. He's 2.8 seconds back, but he's clean through. Pereira just a little bit slower as well. So Richard definitely the quicker of the drivers out in the mire at the moment.
Just a very quick British Grand Prix related question, as we see a lot of battling and going on in the midfield here. Do you think that they should re-tighten the first two corners at Silverstone because it's now too easy? Do you think they should make them more like Cops, where it's nearly flat or it's just flat?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe, actually.
Because there was a few years where, you know, obviously you love Suzuka, there were a few years where 130R was like just about flat and Eau Rouge was just flat.
Yeah, and of course now.
And to me, that's when it makes it really, really challenging, I think. DRS through there is a bit stupid. I don't know whose idea that was, but it was a bit silly, to be honest. Caused more harm than good, let's be fair. A couple of big shunts. Grosjean and Ericsson especially. But yeah, that's another story for another day, I guess. But one thing I'll say is that you can't deny how great this summer's been for British sport, and I do include the British Grand Prix in that. And the last half an hour of the British Grand Prix was brilliant. It was one of the best bits of racing I've seen in ages, in any series. And look at this. Foggy and Bart Dowman side by side going down the back straight. Alex, they're just centimetres away from each other. And now Baker
straight up the inside of Lee Dima. Good. And they're battling pretty heavy behind as well.
That was it. That's what I was alluding to.
That's good.
It looked like Foggy was making his way through, but looks like he did it cleanly. You can see on the track map as well at the side of the screen, one, how many cars are out, because we're down to 34 runners, but that there may well be some traffic, Alex, before the end of this race. It's not out of the question that there's going to be a couple of backmarkers in play.
Yeah, well, we've got 5 minutes left to go. Yeah, it's possible. Who is it that's in 34? Well, it's Chris Evans and Chris Wood. Actually, I think they'll be looking at lap times.
They're quick enough, aren't they?
Yeah, looking at lap times, they're running quick enough, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the only thing that will probably bring them into play will be an accident between the two.
Gregory under
It's crazy,
pressure.
isn't it, though, how that happens when Evans won the previous race and Wood's always up there near the front. Ben Gregory having a good run then. He started in 10th position. Johnny Brandon is the one who's putting the pressure on. Mercedes versus BMW again.
Getting a little comment on the.
Gregory nearly loses it. Sorry, mate.
On the
that big
chat.
slide.
Oh, massive slide. Just about talking about British sport, and of course, yeah.
Oh, there's a nudge, and there goes Gregory.
Off.
He's around. Oh no! Oh dear me.
Just about gets it
Well
out of the
played,
way.
actually. I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him credit for that. He tried his damnedest to get that off the course in time, and he did. There was squeaky bum time for whoever it was in the Ferrari. I think it might have been Dave Baker, but he reacted quickly. They were saying, incidentally, on the managed to catch a bit of the F1 esports earlier on, and they were saying that, you know, reactions super important for a real driver, obviously, but for a sim driver just as much. As we see that, maybe in some cases more, Alex, because a lot more situations that have to be maybe avoided.
Well, yeah, tonight's anything to go by, absolutely.
It's not just the reaction that's important as well, but it's the judgment of which, you know, a lot of the time we used to do a lot of oval racing, and it's more not reacting to the crash, but figuring out where you need to go to avoid it is a lot of the time the problem. And I think Baker had that problem there.
There were some great moves, actually, in that sort of top 10 highlights. I don't know if you see the iRacing video.
Yeah, I did.
Some
Wow.
great avoiding. One, I think, number two. He don't know how he managed to get through that, but yeah.
He looked like it was a miracle. It was an absolute miracle. There were some great bits in there. I did like that. They should definitely carry on doing that. Hopefully we can get some of our stuff in there as well. You never quite know. But yeah, there was a fight. Did you see the 5 wide on the dirt oval? That's just ridiculous. Yeah, they sort of nudged into each other a little bit, but still 5 wide is still very impressive.
Yeah.
Rose leads by just 1.5 seconds actually over Gafencu, who has brought this in slightly, hasn't he? Looked like plain sailing for Rose, and to be honest, Alex, if this was last season and Christian Rhodes had been out in front with a clear track ahead of him, I would have said that he was certain to win this race. But this is a different Ferrari. This is not quite the Ferrari that we saw in 2017 at the beginning of 2018.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he'll be okay though, as long as he doesn't make any kind of mistake. We're going to have one more lap after this one. That's it. So can't see that gap coming down too much more. Yeah, and it has put the pressure on, but just not enough to get there and really sort of make him a little bit uneasy in this final lap.
Well, on the previous lap, these two were the only 2 drivers in the entire field to go under 1 minute 21. So they're really pushing each other along well. Pereira wasn't far outside that marker. We'll see what we get this time, as we're probably just going to have 1 lap to go now. Rose comes across. What did he do? 21.0. Gafencu 20.9. 20.6 for Pereira. He's going to run out of time though, Pereira, unless these two start battling. But even if they do, you'd think, Alex, maybe it's too late for him.
Yeah, I think so. Way too much. He needed them to be battling ahead, didn't he, to get there, really. It's a novelty, actually, Andrew, for you to be able to see the actual official timing of the session now, isn't it?
I mean, it's quite something. I have to say, it's very, very close between. By the way, Harrod and Dellman and Baxter, they're less than a 10th apart, and they have been for the last couple of laps. I know it's late on, but it's good to at least get a little shot of that battle. It is super, super close in there. A bit too close for Baxter that time.
Yeah.
Here we go then. Into the final sector for the final time tonight comes Christian Rose. He's had to withstand quite a lot of pressure. He started in 3rd place, made his way up to the lead early with some good overtaking, and has kept ahead of Richard Gafencu, and he's just about going to keep ahead And Christian Rose for CQR Racehub, the man who finished third in the championship last year, wins round 3 at Mid-Ohio. Good job.
Yeah, what's going on with this epic battle as well that couldn't really cover? Oh, I think everyone's going to maintain as they were. Oh, look at them just streaming across the line there.
They've all made it. Luckily, dear me.
Even with the issues we had and the collisions we had, still some fantastic racing going out all the way to the finish line.
Terrific battle. Matteo Fellini is in there. He's actually a World Championship driver, Alex. I don't know if you knew that. But
yeah.
He's in there. Good job by him. Up to 20th place from, where did he start? 39th. So yeah, that was a nice job. Josh Thompson, 21st. Robert Lundgren actually finished the race without anyone crashing into him. Does make a change, doesn't it? 27th.
That's a novelty for him, though, for sure.
It is. 27th place, 14 positions gained. I say that, I don't know if anybody didn't crash into him, because it's possible in all that nonsense that we had. But, yeah, good for them.
The last couple of cars across the line. Okay.
Okay, so no, I can't click on this entire screen on this side. It's great, isn't it? So we've had some great action here at Mid-Ohio tonight. I'll take you through the finishing order for round 3 of the evening. Just about to get that.
Should be up.
Yeah, that was a good race. I mean, it was really action packed and pretty crazy as well. Christian Rose took it ahead of Rich Gafencu, and then Tiago Pereira in 3rd, Johnny Brandon 4th, Dave Baker in 5th, ahead of Nicole Foggy, and then he had that big battle, separated by just 3 seconds with the following drivers: Deemer, Evdoka, Harrod, Dauman, Baxter, Woodhouse, Freitas, and Gregory. Gregory, after the spin, actually did very well to finish where he did. Josh Rayfield in 15th, ahead of Michael Hall, then Luke Clark, and then Paul Smith in 18th. And then behind him was Dion Phillips, Matteo Fellini, Josh Thompson, Lane O'Connor, Ronald Moons, Michael Blake, then Matt Bunn, Nicola Cuomo, Robert Lundgren, Adam Hedgecock then, and then Simon Underhill, who was taken out early on. He did well to finish the race, really. Jason Rowe, and then Anwar Smith. Chris Wood and Craig Evans were classified almost a lap down. John Roberts was a lap down ahead of David White. Lee Woodburn retired in 36th, and then the remaining drivers who did retire in the early chaos: Richard Warmingham, Pete Newman, Scott Malcolm, Steve Burke, Jack Stiles, Ben Hackerson, Ash Sutton, and Stuart Atkinson.
For the most part, some good racing tonight, actually.
I think so.
Race 3 was a little scrappy. I can't beat around the bush too much with that one, you know.
Yeah, I will say that there's still some great moves.
I think there was some great moves, laying some good, some people who fully deserve their wins as well. So
there's still some fantastic moves, really, and some great driving. And the one I liked the most would have been better if there wasn't the crash, but it was Gafencu on Woodhouse. Was it into the was it Scott Malcolm? Sorry, Gafencu on Malcolm into the hairpin. That would have been a tremendous move, and it still was for him. He got it stopped, did not run wide, and then the carnage unfolded behind.
A couple of people for a chat. I think we've got enough time for maybe 2 or 3. Anyone you want to have a word? Craig Evans might be a good one. Race 2 winner. Christian Rose there for race 3.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think we can get these 2, and I think we can have. I think that can be it. So, joined in the commentary box by Craig Evans. Craig, it's good to have you up here again, mate.
Man, it's good to be back. It's been about a month or so since I was racing, so I'm happy to be back competitive racing for it again.
Well, I've come back tonight as well, and you've come back with Avengers as well, taking race 2. And just how did take us through it? How did it go for you?
Quite nerve-wracking, to be honest. It was slight stiff lag and no one was near me for 99% of the race, but I was quite nervous. But I'm chuffed with the win there. Mid-Ohio was one of the circuits I think is possibly the worst on the service. I absolutely despise it. don't know if that's just, I don't know if that's just because in the Kia it's even worse than it is, but
Well, I think you're going to despise it a lot less than you did before.
yeah, well, one of my best Kia results came here as well, believe it or not. But after race 2, after having a full race to myself, I kind of got into a bit of a flow, and I was actually enjoying it, dare I say it. And race 3 was going well as well until I got caught on an incident. I think, is it Matthew? I don't know his name. He had a bit of a coming together in the straight, and I got caught in the aftermath, so I was a bit disappointed by that. But you know what, I can't complain. I win my first competitive race back in about a month, so yeah, couldn't ask for better.
Well, you did manage to still score some points, of course, in race 3. How has the season gone for you so far? I mean, are you happy with how it is going?
Well, I can't really say. I've not really done many races just because of my work. I'm not here as often as I'd like to be. So,
it's actually your first meeting of the season, is it then today?
Yeah, kind of. I've forgotten Kota because I hate it even more than this. This must be an American team. I don't know.
He hates everything.
Exactly. No, I did Kota, but race 1 was alright, and then I had sound issues, so I just kind of scrapped that evening. So yeah, this is actually my first one properly of the season. So yeah. It's been alright, it's been good so far. Can't complain other than I didn't actually know there was a fast appearing recently. I went in the pits and was about to call it quits, and then the car magically was
It's magically came back.
Yeah,
well,
it's been alright. I don't think my teammate Josh has had the best of season so far, but hopefully it'll pull the results, and if anybody drops out we can get our driver in. So we're just having a bit of fun, not here for a competitive side, that's for Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Well, bad questioning aside, it's great to have you in the interview room, and yeah, if you give us a shout out to the sponsors and the team, and then yeah, before we let you go.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's good to be back, and hopefully be back more often. But yeah, thanks to GT Omega for sponsoring us, mainly with the BSR there, funding part of the season for us there, which is fantastic from them, and Alabase and Logan Stick as well for supporting us. But yeah, thanks very much, and thanks to you guys as well for the broadcast. I look forward to watching this one back, despite probably not being at the focal point because I was by myself for half the race.
Well, those are the easiest wins, those are the best wins, yeah. And Craig Evans, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
And from one man who's tasted success today to another, and Alex is with Christian Rose.
Christian, hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
We were talking about the Ferrari just struggling a little bit around here today, but you managed to drag it to the top step of the podium in the final race.
If you had offered me a race win before we started tonight, I would have called you a liar. Yeah, we just really struggled with the car. You know, trying absolutely everything to try and find some pace, and it just really isn't happening at the moment. It could be track specific. We don't know, but yeah, no. I'd like to say that win was really controlled, and I wanted to make it exciting for everyone. But no, it was just my pace, and Richard was catching me like anything.
Yeah, the last lap looked like he caught you a lot more. Feeling the pressure, were you a little bit there?
Yeah, so I was probably doing the wrong thing and watching a relative as I was going around thinking, uh-oh, he's catching me by this much in that corner, and by that much in that corner. And they got to the last lap, and I was like, I've never been so happy to see the white flag in my life.
Well, of course, you did hold on, which you know, is important, and results like this they matter. You know, when you're struggling to get performance out of a car. How did race 1 and 2 go for you? You know, have you ended up with a good all of points tonight?
Race 1, finished 11th. Wasn't too great. Made some good overtakes. I was pretty pleased with how I raced. I don't think. So I thought it's probably the best I've driven in race 1. Race 2 was a bit of a disaster. Getting involved in with Jack. On that one of race 2, put me to the back. Managed to find my way back to P32, I think it was. And yeah, which you know, thankfully the luck of the reverse grid set me up perfectly for a good chance of a race win.
Nice. Well, yeah, exactly. You get there. Sometimes it's just the way the reverse grids work, doesn't it? So I took full advantage of it. So awesome job. You have to forgive me. I'm trying to scramble to figure out where we are next week.
We're at Detroit next week.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. So, well, what do we reckon?
organised chaos. Perfect is the.
Are we going to have a Macau kind of like track blockage situation go on?
Well, hope not. Hopefully everyone appreciates that it's a bumpy, narrow street course, which offers a completely different challenge. I really like driving the circuit. Not really sure how the Ferrari's going to go there compared to the BMW or any of the other cars, but I think we could possibly spring a surprise there as well.
Awesome stuff. Well, anyone want to give a shout out to before you head them out?
Yep, just a quick one to Mark and everyone at Racehub, again for their continued support CQR, but also for the series itself, as well as Simmortals and yourself. Your personal night, nice to see you back, Andrew.
Thank you, mate.
And yeah, shout out to everyone in the series who works hard to make this what it is.
Awesome stuff. Thanks very much, Christian, and we'll catch you again next week, mate.
Thanks very much.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was really, really fun. Always great to see the World GT Championship in action. Yes, there was a bit of messy stuff in there, but come on. It was fun, wasn't it? And that's what you want.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. As long as drivers are enjoying themselves, that's what matters.
Yeah, and we enjoyed it up in the commentary box, mate. It was an absolute pleasure to be back with you tonight.
Yeah, just like Christian said, yeah, just good to hear you back in the booth. It's been a long time coming, so yeah, can't wait to hear you again on BSRTC and all the other series that you're going to cover.
Yeah, we've got a few bits this week.
While you're on it, are you gonna jump in tomorrow night for the MX5s?
Should be fine. I will let you know, but it should be fine.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, we all sorts of
guys. Don't worry, live on there.
I'll let you know. I'll suddenly come up with something that I'm doing, no doubt. No, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And it has been an absolute pleasure to be back in the commentary box calling the World GT Championship. To all the winners, congratulations. And we will see everybody here next week in Detroit. What a race that will be. From all of us here at Apex Racing TV, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Alex Simpson, it's good night.